So I decided the background should be a little different. It's a different kind of video. This is kind of my setup, mostly my setup. Got piano and guitars on sides and stuff. I don't play guitar though. That's extraneous. So this first album, and I've also decided to release these videos before the album, I guess to preface the album. So it's coming out this Wednesday. That's gonna be the rhythm. Hopefully this comes out on the Monday. This Wednesday, album will come out. And I think it means two different things. Why I say this is because, again, I'm talking overarching, but what I realized is when I originally wrote this album, I had something completely different in mind. When I went back and curated, took some songs out, moved songs around, fine tuned everything, it meant something completely different. That's the only reason why I'm giving these two things. Although maybe this first one will be explored more in April. That's all I can say about that. But the idea is, because the title is This Is What You Wanted, right? I think that's just my sentiment towards being a songwriter, that I tried the alt rock thing, music that I don't know. I enjoyed making all of it actually. And that's why, the meaning changed and my intention with the album changed. But there was this thing in my mind of like, oh, you guys don't want real music. You guys want that washed down, pop music. Ugh, curses. And then I married a woman who loves pop music, and I wouldn't stop hearing pop music. And now I appreciate it, and I see its lane, and I enjoy it, and it's not all, washed up music. There's artists who just want the most amount of people to resonate with the music, and that's okay. I think that is every artist should aspire to that, and which is why, just overarching again, just my approach to music, I get a very specific, detailed moment feeling that I have, and I kind of stretch it out and try to use a telescope, microscope. I don't know. I try to zoom out, right? I try to zoom out and try to understand, okay, but how can everyone relate to this feeling? So there's intentional, and I wouldn't even say vagueness, right? Because you know what I'm talking about. It's just maybe like, I don't know, like, you're a 16-year-old, your mom and dad didn't buy you a car, didn't buy you, a Ford Bronco or whatever. That feeling of my parents disappointed me in a general sense is relatable. Now that is not relatable, right? Like, somebody needs to give that kid a spanking or something, but you know what I'm talking about. So that's, I think, in art and an approach to art that I think is very important for an artist, the success of an artist. The other thing, I'm trying to keep these short because they're not supposed to be this crazy thing, right? Oh my gosh, that's so fire. I can't believe my notes. This is great. so so yeah, the first thing I want to touch on is this idea. You'll go through the songs, and it's obviously my perspective, but I want you to be able to challenge that. The last song, well, second, whatever, the last half of the album, let's say, is a realization that, like, everyone's going through it. You know what I mean? And that's obvious. Like, if you don't, it's the last line to the third to last song, everyone's living with a broken heart. That informs the rest of the album. I tried to do this thing, like, so every album, I want to do like a little trick with it. And I'm not gonna lie. I really like, I'm grasping at straws here, but the idea would be for you to listen to it and then listen to it in reverse, for the reason of um, going through the stories with a different perspective. And what is that perspective? That perspective is that people aren't two dimensional, right? I talk about manipulators and liars and avoidant people and whatever. Like, these are all relationship songs, right? And so, and from that perspective, but then my realization is, oh my gosh, I'm I think of myself as this complex individual who do things because of tensions in my life and da da da. Is it possible that perhaps they are the same? And they aren't just liars or just manipulators or just whatever, that they're handling tension and they don't know how else to deal with it. Now, this question, I don't know if I necessarily ask, but I want us to think about it. In our relationships, are we the reason why they act the way they do? Now, first, maybe the first thing that comes up is like, are you victim blaming right now? And like, maybe it's, this question is only for those who aren't faint of heart, who, you know, who have the esteem and the security to ask that question. Am I the problem? Did I make that person? No, but he lied to me. Well, are you helicoptering? Are you know what I mean? Like, are you forcing his hand? Are you disappointed at everything this person does wrong? And so they don't want to deal with that, and so they'd rather lie to you than deal with this drama that happens. And you say, maybe that's not fair. They messed up. Yes, but I'm sure you know people that deal with people messing up better than you. So, yeah, that's a tough question. That's an icky question. That's a hard question, right? And I know, but it's the New Year's, baby. Let's get some progress, actual progress going. Don't try the same things you do every year. So let's look inward. Let's look inward. How, because again, you want a better quality of life. I want you to have a better quality of life. At a certain point, life is only going to get better when you get better. You know what I mean? Like, your life can only, like, you can have the best friends, but there's a limit to how good they can be in your life if you don't have that kind of disposition. I can't. The only real example, like, of course, there's millions of examples, but an example I have, a silly example, you know, to keep things light, is, let's say you have running friends, right? And your favorite thing is to run. And so you're running with these people. The amount you can run with them depends on your fitness, right? If you can only run half a mile and that's what you guys do together, you guys are going to get to that half mile mark. They're going to keep going, possibly. Or let's say they're great friends and they don't. And it's like, great, we ran for 5 minutes. Now what? You know? But running is the thing. That's the thing. And so at some point, even if you have great friends, the extent of their greatness depends on how, like, likable you are. Like, how, not likable in the sense that you suck and no one wants to hang out with you, but there's some people, it's like, oh, they're great for 2 hours, and it's like, man, I don't want that, you know? So how amazing would it be if you became the kind of person that people would want to hang out a weekend with, go on a weekend trip with you? You know what I mean? Now I'm thinking, don't be a people pleaser either. That's part of it. That's one thing. So, and look, that might be your thing, right? That might be the thing. You can be, I know the, one thing I've learned is that love and relationships challenges you, period. Right? Like you can't maintain relationships if you're not being constantly challenged. What do I mean? So I'll give you two complete opposite kinds of people, and both of them kind of suck, right? Not that they kind of suck. Sorry. That's not good language. Both of them have their character flaws, their troubles, right? Which is the person that is extremely picky, that anything goes wrong, it's over, whatever the case is. So that person, well, you end up having to do what they want to do, or else you're not going to have fun, right? So they need to calm down, be a little more agreeable, this, and that. Cool. Right. Okay. Opposite. People who are too agreeable, always down for anything, but don't have an opinion, don't have desires, don't have wants. That person gets lost because I don't know you. I don't know what you like. I don't know who you are, because you just attach yourself to things. You are not a thing. You are a thing that attaches to other things. And so there's a loss of intimacy there too, And it goes on. This is life, I can go down the list. I'm not fantastic with these perfect examples, but that's what I'm saying. It's like there is no perfect. There is a balance to things, but there is no perfect personality. Like you go to extremes on anything, and these are all functions of inner workings that we need to work out. And so I'm always going to point inward. And I do that because you can only change yourself. You can't change the world around you. Not much. I mean, it's that whole thing of like, this is a critique that pastors will make of church members often when they're church hopping. In other words, when they are going from church to church, not really getting established, not getting roots in it anywhere. They're just kind of going somewhere, finding problems, going elsewhere, finding problems. So what they say is these kinds of people find the same kind of problems. Wherever they go, they find the same exact problems. Why? Because the problem isn't the churches. It's them, Like problematic people are always going to find problems. People who don't want to put the work in aren't going to see work done. You know what I mean? And so it doesn't matter where you go, you're going to be stuck with the same problems because you're stuck with yourself. And yeah, so enjoy my album, guys. All right. See you next time. Woo.